Hi, it's Pete Campbell, and I'm pleased to have been invited to come and share something that you'll be able to look at and something to give you something to think about this week. This week in my newspaper, there was a magazine that comes out once a year, and it's come out for 30 years. And I quite look forward to getting it, to be honest. And it's called the Sunday Times Rich List. And it's full, I think it's something like the 1,000 richest people in our country and how much money they've got, where they live, what they spend it on. And I've always found it very interesting. And this year, for the first ever time, there's someone in it who you probably know, or certainly will have heard of, the person who's thought to be the richest person in England right now is James Dyson, the person who has his big factory in Malmesbury and who lives fairly nearby. James Dyson is thought to have £16 billion. That's a huge amount of money, and he's at number one. The guy who was at number one last year is now at number 5 or number 6. He's lost quite a lot of money in the last year. And there'll be lots of footballers in here and pop stars and movie stars that you would have heard of, but actually most of them are people who are in business, people who have made their money from manufacturing things or selling things or inventing things that we end up using. One of the pages on here this year is called Snakes and Ladders. And Snakes and Ladders, just like the game, there's people in this part who have lost lots of money in the last year, either because businesses didn't go very well or they've made bad choices. And there's a ladders section as well of the people that have become much richer this year. Snakes and Ladders feature. I somehow don't think I'll ever be in the Sunday Times Rich List. And in some ways that's okay, I don't mind. But wealth is something that does interest us. We often look about things we'll want to buy, things we want to own, places we want to go, the type of car we might want to have when we're grown up. And wealth is spoken about an awful lot in the Bible. Even in the time of Jesus, as he walked around the earth, he met people. He met rich people and he met poor people. Sometimes he had dinner with rich people. Sometimes he would have dinner with poor people. Jesus would use rich people in some of the parables, the stories that he would tell to help people to understand. And some rich people he met, they changed after meeting Jesus. They actually said, getting richer and richer and richer is not going to be the most important thing in my life anymore. I've met Jesus and he's told me about better things. He's told me about something that's more important than getting more and more money. So there's lots of examples of that in our Bible, and that might be something you might want to look at a later session with your leaders. But I'm going to read one verse out from Mark's Gospel. So Mark wrote about when Jesus was walking on earth and all the people he met. And here's what he said to some people he met. In Mark 8:36, Jesus said this: "What good is it for a man to gain the whole world, yet forfeit his soul, lose his soul?" What good is it for a man to gain the whole world? What good is it for a man or a woman to get right to the top of this rich list? Not just the Sunday Times British rich list, but the one for the world, to include all the Americans, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos at Amazon, Bill Gates, people with hundreds of billions. What good would it be to have hundreds of billions and lose your soul? That's what Jesus said, Mark 8:36. What good is it for a man to gain the whole world, yet forfeit his soul? Jesus is saying the right priority is focusing on a relationship with him and a relationship with God so that we can enjoy it forever. I said to you that in this magazine, some people go up and some people go down. Some people go down and never get on it again, because it changes all the time. Wealth is temporary, and even our lives are temporary. Nothing in this world will continue forever. Jesus is saying, focus on heaven and eternity. That special phrase, which is something that will never end. Eternity, go on and on forever. Don't focus on things that will pass, and something, actually, a lot of it you can't control. Some of it comes down to luck. But focus on the kingdom of heaven. So that's something I'll leave with you. Jesus said, what good would it be to be the richest person in the world if you haven't got a relationship with God? Because your riches will end, but that relationship with God can go on and on and on. Have a good day. Bye-bye.